So you want to start a fall garden, but you have no idea where to start. Let's talk about it. Now, one of the first things about when to plant your fall garden is the idea that a fall garden starts in the fall. And that is a big misconception. Your fall garden is actually a garden that starts now, that you grow through the fall and into the fall. But if you wait until the fall to start your fall garden, you are already too late. Now, fall garden planting is going to start with our first frost date. All you have to do is head to almanac.com. You can search up your frost dates. You put in your zip code and it's going to give you your estimated last frost and the most important date for us for our fall garden, which is our estimated first frost date. And once you have that date, all you have to do is backtrack based off of the plants that you want to grow in the season. Now, there are a couple of things that we want to take into consideration for all of our crops that we're growing in our fall garden. We want to make sure that those plants have enough time to either get established before that first frost, and those are going to be our frost tolerant and hardy crops. We want to make sure that they're big enough to be able to handle the frost when the frost comes. Now, for our frost tender crops, we want those crops to not only be established, but to have enough time to harvest off of them before the frost comes, because the frost is going to wipe out those crops. They're not going to last. So let's do a little math to figure out what that's going to look like. And we're going to do it for two different crops that are pretty common in my fall garden. So the first is going to be kohlrabi. What we're looking at is the days to maturity. So this plant says that it is 55 days to mature. Now, what we'll do is, if I know that my first frost is November 2nd, and this is a frost tolerant crop, I'm going to take that November 2nd and I will subtract 55 days from that, and that'll be the last day that I can start planting this crop. And this is one that's direct sown. So that puts me at beginning of September direct sowing this crop. I can also transplant this crop a little closer to that time, because it is going to be a crop that can deal with some of the frost. Now, on the other hand, a crop that is not frost tender is going to be bush beans, but this is a big part of my fall garden. So these say that they are 56 days to mature. Technically, the last day that I could plant these would be the same as my kohlrabi, but because this is a fruiting crop, I want to have some weeks to actually harvest that crop. So I'm going to add about 3 weeks at least to when I plant these out. Now, the other thing that we really want to take in consideration is in the fall, things start slowing in production because it is getting cooler. So I generally add an additional 2 weeks to any of my crops that I'm going to be trying to harvest fruit off of, or pods off of. So that means I'm adding about 4 or 5 weeks onto my beans. So instead of me being able to plant them through September, I will probably stop planting these the 2nd or 3rd week of August, so that I have enough time to get a good harvest off of my warm season crops that are getting planted in the fall. And I know that is a lot, and it is a lot of math to do for every crop. So I wanted to show you guys something that I have created because I love making gardening easy. So let's take a look at that. I've created something that will help you determine exactly what to plant when based on your specific frost date. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is a fall garden planner, and this is the very beginning iteration of our garden app. But I wanted to get this out to you guys for our fall gardens because it is time. Basically, all you do is put in your frost dates, whatever those are. What's going to be most important right now is your estimated first frost date. Go to almanac.com. It will give you those specific dates. You'll put those in, and then this is the fun part. So you go to your fall garden, and basically we're going to change this planting date is section. It's going to be highlighted, and we'll start with today. And this is going to tell you exactly what seeds you can start indoors, what seeds you can direct sow, what seeds you can transplant today, which is, depending on where your frost date is, 18 days before your estimated first frost. And then let's say you know that you're not going to be able to do anything in the garden until the middle of August. Well, go ahead and click on that. The 15th of August, this is what you can plant. This again is going to tell you what seeds you can still start indoors, what things you need to go ahead and only do transplants for, which ones you can direct sow. And this is going to give you an idea so that on any given day, you know exactly what works for your garden instead of having to do all the math and figuring it out for everybody else's. You can grab that. It is linked in my bio. Right now it is $5 and that price is going to maintain through the end of the year. If you purchase it now, when the app comes out in 2025, you're going to get automatic access to the app as a early adopter, which is going to include the spring garden. This is available both on your computer and on your phone. If you have any questions, definitely ask them in the comments. I am so excited to have you guys try this out and to be able to use this and know what to plant when every day through your fall garden.